Hello, everyone. Today we are going to be looking at the horizontal and the vertical dimensions of a map and the symbols and the elements that we can use to interpret and better understand the horizontal and vertical dimensions of the map. As we mentioned before, a map contains a lot of information. And so just like with the reading of text, we can gather a lot of information. We can gather a lot of information from maps also, as long as we understand the symbols and as long as we understand and develop the skills needed to read the map. All right. So what I've done is I've put two characters, and I will also mention a third, on our map. All right. Of course, they are not as stationary as the other features that we are seeing on our map. Our first character is Liz. And so I want you to play a very important role. I want you to look at the map and I want you to tell me where Liz is currently located. Remember in the last video, I told you that location is the foundational theme of geography. There are 5 main themes of geography, and location is the one that is, we could say, is found in all the other themes. So the other themes are place, and you can't have place if you don't have location. Then we have region. We can't have regions, which are a group of similar places. We can't have that without location. Another theme is movement. We can't have movement without location because we move from one location to another. And then the other theme of geography is interaction. Features interact with each other because they are either located at the same place or at least are located near to each other. So, what are some of the ways that we could give a location for Liz? We could try to identify our location in relation to another feature. And there are 2 ways that we could do that. We could give the distance or we could give the direction of Liz's current location from another feature. Another way we can give the location of Liz is by giving the grid reference. And that is what we are going to start with. We want to give the 4-figure grid reference of Liz's location. In which grid square is Liz located? Now, notice Liz is found within a square. She's completely surrounded by a square. There is a easting line to her left. There is an easting line to her right. There is a northing line below her, and there is another northing line above her. Now, remember, we have to give the easting line and then the northing line. But which of the 2 easting lines will we give? Will it be the 62 or the 63? Which of the 2 northing lines will we give? Will it be the 21 or the 22? As a rule, remember, when we are trying to choose between the two easting lines and the two northing lines, it's always the smaller of the two that we are going to give. So between the 62 and the 63, the smaller of the two is 62. And between the 21 and the 22, the smaller of the two is 21. So Liz's current location is 6221 or 6221. That is where she is currently located in grid square 6221. Now, Liz don't plan to stay at that location all day because she has some important things to do. Liz needs to go to the library because she has some homework that she has to finish up. I want you to tell me the 4-figure grid reference of the library, the grid square in which the library is located. If you can tell me the 4-figure grid reference of the library, then you could help out Liz so that she won't get lost. All right. So I want you to look for the feature that represents the library, which is an abbreviation. Remember, we said that map features are in symbolic forms and in abbreviations. All right. So what is the feature or the symbol on the map that represents the library? All right. If you said the LIB right here, then you are correct. All right. So we want to find the 4-figure grid reference of the library, and the same rules apply. Remember, we are going to write the easting value to the left, which is the smaller of the two easting values. And we are going to find the northing value to the bottom, which is the smaller of the two northing values. All right, think about it. What is the 4-figure grid reference in which the library is located? Now, if you said 64, 20, or 6420, then you would be correct. All right, so we're looking at this line and we're looking at this line, and the 2 actually forms the letter L. So that's another way that you can remember how to find the 4-figure grid reference. All right, so thanks to your help, Liz has found the library and she has done her research and she has done her homework, and now it's time for her to turn in her homework. So she needs to go to the school. All right. I want you to look at the map. Want to see if you can identify the school on the map. I hope you've identified the school. Now, what I want you to do, I want you to tell Liz in what direction she needs to go from the library in order to get to the school. Now, when we're finding direction, we need to decide between 2 things: our current location and what we're trying to find. In this case, Liz's current location is the library, and What she's trying to find is the school. So what we can do, we can use a line, a straight line. So we would use our rulers and we would connect the school to the library. And then what we would do, we would draw our cardinal points through the library. And when we would have done so, it would be easy for us to find the location or the direction of the school from the library. So notice that right here is north. This direction is south. This direction is east. And this direction is west. And we use these cardinal points to find the intercardinal points. Intercardinal points are simply the points that are found between the cardinal points. Remember, we have primary intercardinal points, and we also have secondary intercardinal points. Now, what would you say is the direction of the school from the library? Now, halfway between the school, between north and west is northwest. And halfway between northwest and north is north-northwest. So the direction of the school from the library is north-northwest. All right. So when Liz is walking from the library to the school, she has to walk in a north-northwest direction. All right. So again, we have helped Liz to go from the library to the school. So she goes to the school and she drops off her homework and she doesn't have to worry about that anymore. No, Liz's mother works at the health center. And what she plans to do is to meet Liz at the school so that the two of them can walk to church afterwards. Now, for her mom to go from the health center to the school, I want you to tell me, will she have to go upslope or will she have to walk downslope? In order for you to decide on that, you have to look at the values of the contour line. So notice, the school is located at 100 meters. The health center is located at 200 meters. How do we know that it's 200 meters? Because all places along the same contour line has the same contour value. So if Liz's mom is located at a height of 200 meters and the school is located at 100 meters, in order for her to walk from the health center where she works to the school, she will actually be going downslope. It doesn't look like that on the map, and a lot of students confuse the direction across the map with the direction up or down the slope. Remember, the only thing that tells us whether we're going up or down are the symbols that show height, which in this case would be the contour lines. So we'd have to look at the contour values. Other symbols that show height are spot height and trig station. We will look at that in another video. Okay, so Liz's mom walk down slope and she meets Liz at the school, and now it is time for them to head to the church. Now I want you to tell me what height they will need to walk from the school to the church. All right, I hope you've come up with your answer. Notice that the school is located at 100 meters and the church is located at a height of 400 meters. So the overall height would be 400 meters minus 100 meters, which will give us 300 meters. So they will have to go up by 300 meters in order to move from the school to the church. Now, as they go up, they are also going across. Now, let us assume that they are going across by a distance of 600 meters. Since we know the vertical height difference between the school and the church, which we calculated and we said that it was 300 meters. And now we know that the distance, that is the horizontal distance from the school to the church, is 600 meters. We can calculate the gradient of the slope. We calculate the gradient of a slope by dividing the difference in height over the distance. And we want to express our answer as a ratio. We always start our ratio with a 1. So in order to get a 1 in the numerator, we're going to divide 300 by itself. And 300 into itself goes 1 time. What we do to the top, we need to do it to the bottom as well. So 600 divided by 300 gives us 2. So the gradient of the slope over which Liz and her mom will have to walk to get from the school to the church is 1 to 2, which means that they will go up by 1 unit and go across at the same time by 2 of that same unit. In this case, meters. All right, so let's talk about our next character, who is Paul. Now, Paul works at the factory, but he is also going to church. Before he goes to church, he has the duty of stopping at the bank to get some money in order to do something. And so I want you to tell me in which direction Paul needs to walk, or at least to go, from the factory to the bank. All right? Remember what we said? When we're trying to find the direction of two places, or the direction of one place from another place, we need to decide on where we are and where we are going. The reference point is where we are, and the target point is where we are going. So the target point in this case would be the bank. And the reference point, the point from which we are giving the direction, would be the factory. And so what we can do again is we can draw a line connecting the two places, and then we would draw our compass points at the reference point. And from that, we can give our direction. All right? So generally speaking, Paul needs to walk or drive. He needs to move across from the factory to the bank in an eastward direction. He needs to go east in order to get to the bank. And later on, after he has taken care of his business, he needs to go from the bank to the church. If we look, the general direction in which he needs to go from the bank to the church would be, it would be north. All right. So now, Paul goes to church and he meets up with Liz and her mother. And the three will walk home after church because they live very close to each other. They live in the grid square where the post office is located. What is the grid square in which the post office is located? All right. Remember the rules. You're going to give the easting line, the smaller easting line, which is located to the left of the feature, and the smaller northing line, which is located to the bottom of the feature. So in this case, the grid square in which the post office is located is 6321. And this is where Paul, Liz, and Liz's mother will walk to from church. I hope you learned something. And remember, all of the skills that we learn in this video, we are going to apply in one of the upcoming videos. So if you don't remember everything, just go ahead and rewatch the video. All right, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you learned something from this video. Don't forget to like, to share, and to subscribe. Thank you.